Hello, 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 hello.
Good evening,
How's
everybody.
everybody doing? We hope you all are well and that great things are happening. I see right now we are live. We are live.
We
We are
are.
live.
We are.
That's what's up.
So we made this happen. We've been talking about it for a little while, but yeah, here we are, live from Houston.
Live from Houston, getting ready to do what we do, and we're going to get into it. So, we want to welcome you all to our first episode, season one of the His Voice, Her Vibe live podcast.
Yes,
My
welcome.
Right, welcome everybody. My name, as you know, I'm one of the hosts, is Norris Henderson.
My name is Lisa Henderson. And before we get started, we just wanted to have a quick little disclaimer just to remind everybody, put this out there. Again, we are not your physician. We are not your therapist. And we are not your spiritual counselors. We just want you to know that. And if you have any issues with physical, mental, or emotional abuse, please seek help. Seek your practitioner, your provider, or seek help. I know in the Wichita area, there's something called 411. Reach out there if you are having any types of those struggles. But without further ado, I think we should go ahead and get into season one, episode one. Let's go.
Let's get into it. So, we took a poll on the subject or the topic that we're going to be talking about today. Can men basically, for lack of a better term, dish out what it is that they take? Are they able to receive, what they give out? And so we did a poll yesterday, and we got some results from that poll, and we're gonna get right into it.
The poll says 68% of the people that answered the poll, according to Facebook, said no, men cannot handle what they dish out. 32% said yes or it depends. Well, and the depends, they were supposed to write in the comments exactly what they meant or what it was dependent upon. But that's neither here nor there. I'm rocking with the 68%. Men absolutely cannot handle the things that they dish out.
And I'm rocking with the percentage of those that say it depends. Absolutely, positively.
In what world?
I believe it depends. In our world, in
But I
this
think
world
that
that
it
we engage
depends
in.
just means that you are leaving space to say, oh, yeah, sometimes, oh, yeah, none of the time. And I think it's an easy cop out.
I don't know. I don't think
I
I
think
agree
it's a
with that.
cop out for most men because you do not want to say that women handle things differently and that in most situations, mentally, emotionally, we're stronger. We may not come off as the stronger,
Oh
we
Lord.
may not come out as the stronger species, but men cannot handle what they dish out.
I say it depends. And the reason that I say it depends is I believe it's predicated on the man himself, the type of man he is. I believe it's partially how he was raised and how he was brought up, his environment as far as that demographic. Did he come from,
Okay.
a two-parent home, and different things where he was actually able to see something like that modeled. I mean, don't get me wrong now. I mean, just because you were in a two-parent home does not mean that everything, was roses when you were in that two-parent home. I mean, we've seen some and we know some where they came from a two-parent home and the husband may have been, pretty abusive, whether it was physical, whether it was verbal, whether it was both, emotional. It could be that too. Nowadays, on the other hand, we see a lot of women that have actually kind of taken on that role of being more aggressive and more assertive and more, abusive in that regard. So that's
Oh,
why I say
so are you saying that women that are more aggressive and maybe able to communicate how they feel or what they have to say? I just heard you say abusive. So are you
abusive.
saying that we're abusive or women aren't abusive because they can express themselves?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, so explain.
Because
You put
communication, we
abuse in the whole
right.
scenario with being aggressive. I can be aggressive about how I feel, but that doesn't make me abusive.
So aggression and abuse, we know are two different things. Come on now. Let's just keep it a buck.
Okay.
We know aggressiveness and we know that abuse are two totally separate things. What I am saying is there's nothing wrong, or I won't say there's nothing wrong. There is a huge, to me, and this is just my own opinion, there is a huge disparity between aggressive and abusive. So you can be aggressive. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. I mean, we're pretty transparent about our marriage, our relationship, everything else. We have had times where we were both seemingly aggressive, not like on a physical sense, before y'all even try to, act like something's really going on. It ain't nothing like that. At all. So let me put that out there. But what I'm saying is that you can be aggressive in your tone when you're having a
This is true.
conversation and when you're communicating. You can be aggressive, in your body language. When you're communicating, your body language could be, like aggression. But what I'm saying is, as in terms of abuse, there are women now that we actually see who actually will physically like hit they men.
Okay, so let's
And
build
that's
this
what
back
I'm
in. So are we
saying.
talking about abuse or are we talking about can men handle it? Because I see,
We're talking about
because what
both.
I hear right
We're
now
talking
is you
about it all.
deflecting from the entire question.
You asked me a question. I gave you
We
an
are
answer.
talking.
You wanted me to
We are
give the
talking
disparity
about.
between the abuse and aggressive, and that's what I did.
So you're gonna roll with men can handle the things
I
that
think
women.
some men can. I didn't say all men. I do think that some men can.
Okay, so statistically speaking, what percentage of men would you say that can handle what they dish out?
Now I don't know
I mean, and
about that.
maybe that's how we should have worded this question, because
Well,
then maybe we can get an honest answer and we can go on with our conversation. But
right.
statistically speaking, what percent would you say?
In this day and time, as a guesstimation, and I'm talking about a guesstimation, in this day and time, I would probably say, now I'm gonna say 60%. I think 60% of men could do it. I do. 40% maybe
Could
not.
or do?
I don't know if they do or not. I'm not in their house. I'm in my own house.
Okay, so what was the question?
I know what the question was. I'm gonna rock with 60%. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. So, in most cases, according to AI, no, a lot of men struggle to handle the same behavior they give out, whether it's criticism, emotional distance, flirting, or even certain double standards in relationships. It often comes down to social conditioning. Men are taught to be strong, stoic, or dominant, but not always taught how to process emotions or handle vulnerability. So I guess the flip side of that question is, or the answer to why aren't men able to process those things or handle what they dish out, is for some of these reasons that were listed here. So if we're talking about emotionally or vulnerability, let's just hypothetically speaking, we're a relationship.
Right.
The woman cheats on the man.
Mhm.
We hear about it all the time. Men can cheat on the woman and she gonna forgive him. Ladies, where we at?
Oh wow!
A man can cheat on his
for real?
woman and she forgive him. She gonna take him back. Got a baby out there in the streets.
Oh wow!
She gonna love him still. This my man, my man, my man.
Wow!
But now you let a woman go cheat, come back with a baby. You telling me he can handle that?
Hold on.
Hey, rock with your 60% since that's what you said.
I'm gonna rock with my 60% with
Come
no
on with it,
problem.
brother. Come on.
Now, let me see. Now, a baby? Hold on. You asked. A baby?
What's the difference? He had a baby.
Well, it ain't no difference, honestly. I mean, if we just looking at it and we keeping it a buck,
We keep it
I
a
mean,
buck.
there's no difference. I mean, if two people are together in a relationship, marital, whatever, cohabitation, whatever it is, that woman steps out, she has a baby, she decides to come back, he takes her back, okay, cool, and vice versa. I will say that I don't believe that a lot of men would be able to do that.
But why? Why? She's accepting this baby he didn't have out there in the street.
I can agree with that.
And that been going on since way back when.
Well, I can't front on that one. That's the truth.
Women
I mean,
have
I totally
always
agree.
been forgiver in this situation. So how come he can't handle what he was dishing out? Now it's the problem because he got to look at that baby every day. But it wasn't a problem when she had to go to the grocery store and see little Tink Tink with his mama.
Right.
So
I don't know. Maybe he just don't want the constant reminder in his face. I'm just, hey, you asked.
but
I
it's
can't
okay
speak.
for her to be in the huddle and her girlfriends and
Yeah,
everywhere
that's
time they
foul.
go somewhere. Girl, you know that's his baby over there.
It's bad all the way around. I mean, let's just
But
be honest.
how come he can't take
I don't know. I can't speak for him. I can speak for
it?
me.
Is it because men have this, given the same situation, is it because men have this thing in their mind that they are the head and, that's my woman and she ain't going to have nobody but me because I'm putting it down and I
It could
got
be
it like
that.
that? I mean, is that what y'all carry around?
What you mean, y'all?
I'm speaking from a man's
from
perspective.
man's perspective, I would say that I believe that.
And I mean, audience, y'all can please get in
Yeah,
the comments so that we
because
can we can
I'm
talk back
looking,
with y'all.
and I'm trying to see what's going on. But I would say that I think for most men, I don't believe that they would probably be able to stomach it. And the reason that I say that I don't believe that they would be able to stomach it is because if we're being honest, I don't think men, for whatever reason, emotionally, that it's like it's damaging. It's damaging internally. Now, I'm not saying it's not damaging for women. I'm
I'm,
not. I'm
I'm gonna
not.
let you finish your
I'm not
piece
saying it's not
because
damaging
this
for
goes
women.
back to that.
Right.
It's the beginning of a conversation that goes all the way to double standard.
Absolutely.
You gonna dish out something
Right.
that you would expect for me to be able to handle, but you can't handle it.
That
So you just gonna leave the whole family, throw the whole thing away. You just done because I cheated and got a baby, but you got one too.
well, I mean, it happens. It is unfortunate, but it happens, and
But
it's a
why
real thing.
emotionally? Why? Why? Help us as women, because we want to know. Help us as women understand why.
I'm telling you, I think it's because deep down internally, that does something to a man. I
Is it
can't
because he
really.
feeling like, oh, another man done got my goods,
Absolutely, I think that's one piece of it.
or he got to go around with his homeboys and he gonna be called a punk and he gonna be labeled soft and he gonna this and that? Why you can't stand up as a man and be like, I'm a man every day and this my house, that's my woman, and we gonna take care of this baby?
Everything that you said, I believe, is an actual thought.
Okay.
I do believe that. But I also believe, again, and I'm going back to it because it's the truth, I think internally, somewhere in the emotional depths of men, when something like that happens to us, and it, I'll just say the man that hasn't cheated. If the woman steps out on us and she cheats, she ends up having a baby or whatever the case may be, she gets pregnant, blah, blah, blah. Emotionally, it's damaging. It really makes you go into your mind frame of thinking, well, dang, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What's wrong with me? Am I not enough for her to be able, to be able to do this? I mean, what was the situation? I mean,
Y'all
and I'm telling
you immediately go okay, so when you say not enough, are you meaning physically or
in,
mentally and emotionally?
in every way,
Speaking from your 60% of
in
men.
every way. No, I'm serious.
But what's gonna hurt you the most?
Oh, the physical part is going to be the
Because
main
you think you
piece.
putting it down.
I don't even think it's necessarily
I
that.
think men
I
think
think
that they are putting it down and she ain't going nowhere, and y'all have these hoorahs and these conversations in locker rooms and gym rooms and whatever. And then when she do it, other men aren't mature enough to say things happen. Other men aren't mature enough to say she made a mistake. That's your wife, you love her, you should keep her. That's your girl, whatever, you should keep her. Hey, take care of the baby, man up. I ain't on my baby. I ain't taking care of no other man's baby.
Right, man. Can't say what we would normally say, but man.
So why is it that other men wouldn't be able to embrace the fact that a woman has done what men been doing for years?
It's a constant reminder. Like I said, people don't want to be reminded of that.
So what makes
it's harder
it easier for what? Why?
I just told you why. But we go all the way back to the emotional piece.
You just said it makes it easier. It's harder for men
I think
to deal with it. But what makes it easy for the woman to deal with it?
I never said it wasn't easy.
What? But how can you equate one harder than the other?
That's just my opinion.
Okay.
I can have.
Okay, duly noted.
I can have
Duly
that.
noted.
If I have nothing else, I have that.
Okay. So my AI also says
Her
that
AI.
many men can dish out flirting with others, but get upset if their partner does the same. So it's okay for you to walk past a woman and be like, "Oh, she's so fine, she's looking good, whatever." But it's a problem for the women to do that.
Why?
I don't know. You tell me. And I guess my question or my issue with that is, don't we all look? I think let's just get to the real facts here. Everybody looks at someone that they feel is attractive, be it the same gender or a different gender. They look at someone and they could be like, gosh. I mean, I've looked at men and been like, he fine. He ain't my husband, but he fine.
Hmm.
Wouldn't you say you do the same?
Absolutely.
But now turning and snapping your head and you next to me, that's a whole different ballgame. That ain't what we talking about.
Right.
We just talking about acknowledging that there's an attraction there. But for a lot of men and for a lot of women, because there are a lot of women that have issues with their significant other
Right.
finding other women attractive when that's just a part of naturally who and what we are.
That's my take on it. I mean, if I'm being honest, I can 100% agree with you on that particular, note. At the end of the day, we all have two eyes. Let's just keep it a buck. If you're not Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles or something like that, you have two eyes, or you're able to see. You can even have some super thick glasses, but you can see something. And at the end of the day, if that's something that you like, that you admire, or it catches your eye, I mean, yeah, I would be a fool in our marriage to think that me and you can go to a place and we walk in together and you see somebody and you don't think internally, dang, he's fine, or vice versa for me.
Mhm.
Now, like you said, caveat of that is don't be sitting up there saying that mess, letting your intrusive thoughts come out your mouth, because then it's gonna be an issue. I mean, I'm just saying,
So we do have a comment on YouTube. Mr. Pierre says, I don't think men are built for that. So, Mr. Pierre, in the comments, I would love for you to give me a quick explanation on what do you mean? So, men aren't built for that. So, are you saying that women are built for that? Women are built mentally and emotionally stronger when we're supposed to be, quote unquote, the weaker species? I mean, is it true or is it a fact? I mean, I believe it is. I absolutely believe that women are built, we are made to manage the worst of the worst. We just innately are built for that. And I will take that discussion and fight all the way to the grave. We can handle what y'all can't.
I would say that women are definitely built different in that respect. For whatever reason, I think for men, the the emotional depth that we carry is, I don't want to I don't want to equate it to the depth of a kiddie pool, because I think that that's wrong. I think that we have more depth than that, but I will say that I honestly believe that women are more resilient in that
Yes,
regard.
I would
They are
agree.
more resilient in
I
that
totally
regard,
agree.
where they can take the worst of the worst, and we've seen it. I mean, a lot of us have come from single parent homes, and we weren't living with our dads. We were living with our mothers, or be it from like me. Even though I was raised by my grandparents, my grandmother was the dominant parent. So watching her, raise all of her kids and they're grown adults, and then me being the only grandchild, you see resilience, you see emotional depth. Because let's be honest, you have 6, 7, 8 kids, you having to deal with all of these children. Everybody's
3 was enough for me.
everybody is pulling from your emotional, well.
Right.
They're all pulling from your emotional well, and especially if they're close together. So you're giving out, giving out, giving out, giving out, giving out, giving out. and it's hard to be refilled when you're constantly giving out.
So, that being said, from a male perspective, if men realize exactly what you just said,
Mhm.
then why aren't they pouring more into the relationship, into their significant others?
Because
Because they know coming in
right,
that they are the foundation for those supports when it comes to the family.
I totally agree with that. But what I will say is that I believe that the reason that they're not able to pour into is because they don't even know really what they have. And what I mean by they don't know, or men don't really know what they have, for men, especially black, and we're not gonna go down a rabbit hole, but I'm gonna just throw this out here. For men, you know, we know that there is certain things that's required of us. There's certain things or ways that we're looked at. And yeah, we can always say, well, we don't want to go out in the world and fight and then come back home and then have to fight our women and this, that, and the third. You can say that all day long. But
Which is a
I
true,
believe I
it's a
believe
true
it's true.
fact.
There,
I mean,
there
I would
is a
agree
truth.
with that.
There's truth to that. But what I am saying is that you have to learn, and that comes from inner work. It's nothing nobody can tell you. It's nothing nobody can train you to do or anything like that. You have to do inner work as a man, and you have to look deep within yourself to be able to pull out what's already been given to you innately. We're not gonna go down the whole role of God and everything else. We're gonna talk about God a lot on these pods. Don't get me wrong. But what's been placed in us has actually it's been enough since the day that you came onto the earth. But a lot of people, because they didn't have people to show them in terms of, you know, hey, as a man, this is what you do. As a man, this is how you handle this. As a man, this is how you
Okay.
handle that. And they're stumbling, bumbling, fumbling through life trying to find themselves. They don't even know the reservoir of depth that they have in them. And so when they end up getting with somebody and they get into a relationship, they feel like they're doing everything that they can do, not knowing that there is more depth to them, but they have to do the inner work to find it.
So I'm going to say this. So when they figure out that there is a need or there is something that is lacking, then sorry, we had a little technical difficulty.
Oh Lord.
The light went out. So when they figure out that there is something that is not happening or there's a lack, a need, so to speak. Let's make it
Mhm.
positive. There's a need. At what point are they mature enough, or what point do men mature to say, I I need to be better in this area? I don't want to say lack, but I want to say I need to be better in this area. I need to be able to connect emotionally and be
Mhm.
able to be vulnerable and figure out what it is I need. Why is it that men aren't able or they struggle? Why is it that men struggle in that area, knowing that they aren't able to communicate how
Mhm.
they feel or even be receptive to accept the vulnerability of a woman?
Hmm. I think
Because I think a lot of what you're saying is true, especially if we go back to the question, men can dish out what they can't take. But
right.
why is it they can't take it? Is it immaturity, emotional immaturity?
Mhm.
Is it over masculinity?
Mhm.
Or is it the locker room talk now has just really ran rampant and taken over where men don't even feel comfortable or free to express themselves and be honest? Because I don't truly believe that, given the scenario, the example that we used,
Mhm.
every man wants to leave his woman because she made a mistake.
Right.
Some of them want to stay, but because of what society will say,
True.
you weak, you a punk, I wouldn't be doing that, I ain't taking care of no other man's. All of those things,
That's true.
they make the choice to leave instead of staying.
I agree with that. And I will say that I believe for the reasons that you stated, um, I mean, those are very good reasons. Underdeveloped in terms of maturity, and emotional connection and emotional depth and emotional maturity. Overdeveloped in the masculinity because I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man. This is what men do, and this is just how it's gonna be. Um, the whole society piece of it, like you said, men don't want to be looked at as soft or as weak. And so when you have a situation that is something like this, or it doesn't even have to be a baby involved. It could just be the whole cheating piece, whether it's emotional or physical, because we haven't even tapped into the emotional portion of it yet. Whether it's
Which
emotional
a lot
or
of times
physical.
is worse.
Yeah. I believe what ends up happening is that that man, for whatever reason, you know, he's like, no, 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 no. This ain't how this is supposed to go. This is not how this works. I'm a man. I'm not getting ready to let you get over on me, for lack of a better term. And because I'm not gonna let you get over on me like that, then this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna take it. I'm gonna just leave you alone.
Right.
Whereas, to me, and this is my thought pattern, if you have somebody that you really care for, somebody that you really love, somebody that you feel in your heart of hearts as a man that you can make it work with, I will be the first to tell you, try it. But I will say that you have to read the room too. If you're trying, and there's no reciprocation, no change, and I would say that for a woman as well. If you're trying to make this thing work after this man that did you in, and you see no change, that's up to you on how much you can tolerate. Because at some point, you got to get tired. Nobody else can do that for you. You're going to have to be the one to get tired and to make a decision where you say within your heart of hearts, you know what? Nah, I'm not getting ready to just keep doing this and keep going over this, man. I'm more than this. There's more to me. My worth is more than that. So that's my thought.
Okay, so we got Anthony Coleman who's with us on YouTube. We also have Monique Brown. Hey Mo, who's listening from Dallas. So Mr. Pierre responded to his question or responded to my question that I directed at him. And his response was, I'm not saying that women per se are built for that, but men, when they're in 10 toes, but when men are 10 toes in, and when something like this occurs, it's likely they have to be in control the majority of the time. So I think what he's saying is men feel like they have to be in control.
Control.
And when they lose control, that's where the issue becomes.
I can see that. I can see that because as the dominant species that we have been, made to believe, that we are. Control, I think, is a very big thing for us. And once things get out of control, if I'm being honest, once things get out of control, it's hard for men to be able to really get those things in control without, going into a whole emotional, bank and withdrawing from that, and experiencing all of these different things and going through all of these different emotions and everything else. It's like we got to hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. This can't be like this. It can't be like this. It can't be like this. When the fact of the matter is that if we're just being honest, we can't control everything. We cannot. As men, things sometimes will happen. The Bible says that time and chance happening to them all. There is going to be some things that's going to come, that's going to happen, whether it's relational, whether it's, whatever, that you may not necessarily be able to control, but the thing of it is sometimes even when you're not able to control it, you have to think and find another solution. There's always more than one way to handle, a situation, but you have to look within yourself to be able to find that.
So basically, what I'm hearing is there's a double standard.
Ah, I, th- I'm
Just a
saying it's
little bit.
not. I'm not
Just a little
just a
bit.
tad.
Just a little bit.
Just a tad.
There's a double standard. There's a double standard here. But I think that we can agree that there is a lot of emotional and mental maturity that goes along
Yes.
with men, and men feeling like they can dish out things that women can't. And, while I do, and I am a firm believer that women are strong innately and we are born survivors and we are nurturers and caregivers and all those things, all those great things, I also believe that sometimes it's it's to a default.
Absolutely.
I also believe that it takes the perfect person for the imperfect person. And so I think that there's a lot of more factors that we didn't touch,
Right.
with regard to especially this kind of example or situation that we've used, that we would have to look at a lot of variances when it comes to how a person deals with that situation. But the answer to the question is still, let me get my percent, 68%. Men cannot handle what they dish out. And I mean, I work in the corporate world.
Right.
I see it every day. I could be in the boardroom, have the same idea as a man, and who's going to get who's going to be acknowledged for having that idea? In most settings, not all, because I love the company I work for, and I'm always heard with any and everything that I suggest or that I do in meetings. But a lot of times, there goes that dominance again.
Mhm.
There goes that dominance. The men have to run it. The men have to lead. We have to be the right ones. And how dare you, as a woman? Where'd you get that idea from? It must have come from a man.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
that's just not always the case. So I think that the more we have these conversations, I think the more people at home have these conversations, and the more we acknowledge that there is room for emotional growth, and that we all have a child inside of us that needs to grow up. And we have to really work on that. And we have to, as mate, as a partner, when you decide to go specifically in a relationship, it's your job, it's your responsibility to figure out what it is that the work that you need to do and the work that need to do together.
I agree with that. And you touched on the corporate world, and of course, we see that all the time. Where men this, men that. Like you said, hey, we run it, we do this, we do that, we do the third. And I think a lot of that is, that's power trips. That's power tripping to me. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, just like the Lord literally created a woman to be a helpmeet for the man. Even if it's the corporate, setting, whatever it is, I believe as men we need to be more open in terms of ideas, because we seen that, and I've told you that even in terms of like ministry. At the end of the day, yeah, this man may be doing this, that, and the third, and he could be, the end all, be all, whatever he can be. But the truth of the matter is that, if you have a woman that's with you, that's there, that understands the assignment,
And this is a
woman in ministry, or just, in general,
Oh, okay.
but I just use that as an example. But if you have that woman that understands the assignment, that you all are trying to embark on, and that, you all are trying to work on the things that you're trying to build and different things like that. God didn't just give men ideas.
Amen. Can you repeat that one
You
more
know what I'm
time?
saying? He didn't
God
just
didn't do what?
he didn't just give men ideas.
Glory, hallelujah.
I
Y'all heard Mr. Henderson say that,
I
right?
said it.
Because I have a lot of ideas.
I did. I said that. I said that God didn't just give men ideas. God gave women ideas. And the heart of a man trusts in, according to Proverbs, the heart of a man trusts in the woman that he's with, which lets me know that if I can truly trust you for real,
And that's deep.
then I'm able to take on what it is that you're telling me. I can take on the ideas and I can weigh them out. We can talk about them. doesn't always mean that we'll necessarily always roll with your idea or will always roll with my idea. But there has to
I
be a
like rolling
balance.
with my idea
There
all the
has to be
time.
a
I'm always
balance.
right.
Nah, nah. There has to be a balance. And in that balance, that's what creates the unity and the harmony. And it puts you both in a position to where now we can build. Now we can work.
And I will say that. I will say that harmony is key.
Absolutely.
I will say that because just as we talk about women who, I mean, men who like to dominate and they like to, I'm the man and I'm masculine and I'm running things. There are women
Yes.
who carry those traits, and I mean, I'll be honest.
Alpha women.
I am she in a lot of ways, but I have learned balance, and I think a lot of that, like you said, it comes from having to fulfill roles that I wasn't created to fill.
Right.
Having to raise 3 kids for a large portion of their lives in home by myself, And so I think that what did you tell me? What was your famous line when we first started dating? I'm not your kid, and I'm not one of those people at that job that you deal with. And I had to really listen to that. At first I was offended because what are you talking about? I ain't talking to you like a kid. But when I really checked myself and got to the heart of why he said what he said, I really was. I was coming home
And
talking to
was.
him like he was one of the kids
And was.
or one of the people that I'm having to counsel at work.
No, ma'am.
But we've learned balance. And
Absolutely.
I think part of that is loving and being open to hear the heart of your mate and hear where they're coming from and learning. And I'm still working on it in a lot of ways. I don't have to carry it by myself.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think that I just thought it was fair to acknowledge there are those of us women out there who we working on.
Right. And to be fair,
we're working on it, and we're learning how to be in our soft girl era.
And to be fair, if we just being honest, there are, I believe, of course, way more women who have had to do that by themselves for whatever the extended amount of time was before, a mate came into their life, or they still might be doing it now. You know what I'm saying? And so going back to what you said in terms of, fulfilling roles, it's hard, fellas, because we lived it and we worked on it. It's hard for you to come in when you have a woman that it has been doing it for so long by themselves that this is what they're accustomed to. This is what they know. This is how I handle business. This is how I take care of the things that I take care of. This is what I do. This is how I grocery shop. You know what I'm saying? I. And it's a hard situation. Now,
that
don't
was
get
a
me wrong.
dig.
No, it's
grocery shopping. That was a dig.
Nah, I don't
because
like grocery shopping. Bro.
I don't. It's some generic stuff that we just don't do, and we had to learn that about the ketchup. That was a dig.
Hold up.
That was a dig.
It was not a dig.
Oh, brother.
Because what I was getting
grocery shopping, who would have even thought?
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. But I'm just saying. But I mean, even in that, the flip side is, as a single man, you get used to doing. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, hard. We could talk about us a lot because I mean, we went through all of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just stages on stages on stages. Balanced. But it's balanced.
It's balanced. It's balanced. And I think working with each other and being willing to have open conversations, and you stay on your side of the bed and I'm gonna stay on mine tonight because I'm still mad. But but being willing to communicate and work on the areas that need to be worked on.
I would agree with that. So. And y'all don't do that. Don't go to bed mad.
No, I am not saying that was right.
Don't do
and
that.
I'm much better than I used to be.
Don't do that because I try my best. When she's mad at me, y'all can ask the kids. I'm gonna go on about my day. Like, oh well, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna watch my shows. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna eat all the gummy worms that I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna drink all the Pepsis I'm gonna drink, and while you sitting up there with a pouty face, I'm gonna be talking to the kids, clowning and doing the most, and I'm going right to the man cave, and I'm gonna chill. You be mad, whatever. Be mad. I'm not saying you can't be mad, but at the end of the day, I'm not. No.
This what we doing?
You know how I go. Am I keeping it honest though? That's what I do.
Moving on. Moving on. So, what are some things that you can do when you encounter situations where it's not equal, where one feels like they have the opportunity to not feel like they need to be held accountable? Because part of this is accountability.
Hold on. Ask me that again. Ask me that again.
I have some suggestions. So maybe I worded it wrong, but we have some suggestions.
Okay.
That we're going to give people that they can do, and in these types of situations where they have to encounter, it's okay for a man to do it, but not the woman.
Okay.
And it's truly because I'm a man, and that's really what it is. I'm a man, and this is just what men do.
Okay.
So one of the suggestions is to mirror the behavior calmly. Sometimes the best teacher is reflection. I'm not saying that he cheats, you go cheat now.
Right. Right.
What's the saying? Right back ain't cheating. It's still cheating.
Right back is cheating.
The second suggestion was name the double standard. Be direct, but not combative. Thirdly, shift from emotion to logic. And I think that's where a lot of things get lost, is because we put so much emotion in things to where if I'm screaming because I feel emotional about whatever the situation is, which is really real,
Right.
because I'm the loudmouth and Norris is not, he didn't hear anything I said just because of the tone of my voice.
Absolutely.
And so we have to be very careful about our emotions and how we process those and how we project those in not just marital relationships, but in friendships, in workships, in church ships. You know, we have to be very, very careful with that. So the other one is set a boundary, not a battle. Everything doesn't have to be a battle.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
Everything does not have to be a battle, but you can set a boundary. And once that threshold has been met, then what are you going to do? We're going to take a break. We're going to take 5 minutes away. We're going to come back and talk when we have calmed down. The fifth suggestion is reward accountability. When he does handle it well or owns up, make sure you reward it. Make sure you tell him you appreciate him and thank you so much for acknowledging that you were wrong and that you love me and that you're going to do better next time. So make sure you acknowledge.
Women be struggling with saying they wrong.
Make sure you acknowledge the accountability.
Y'all don't like saying I'm sorry neither. That's the truth. I don't care what nobody say.
Do you have any questions or comments on Facebook?
We've actually been posting them. Let's see. Miss Shay Renee says that I am she. Balance is the key. When you have done it for life by yourself for so long, when a man comes along and provides proof that he is a man with consistency and true love, a woman can be more apt to respecting when the man steps up and plays his role.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. It makes it so much easier. And I always tell people, it's for me and for a lot of women, when I'm safe, I'm good. When I don't feel safe, then there's an issue.
And that's understandable.
There's
because I believe as men innately, that's a part of who we are. I mean, if we just really looking at it, as men, I believe it's a part of who all men are, if I'm being honest. But I believe that there are men who will utilize that, and I believe that there are some men that won't.
This is true.
Definitely should be, but not all men have the capabilities to actually protect. I mean, if we're being honest. All men don't have the capability. No, let me rephrase that. They have the capabilities to protect, but they don't have the willingness. And there's a difference.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I
You
agree.
have all of the capability in the world innately to be able to do all of these things. But some people just they don't feel as though for whatever reason they should put themselves, you know, in a position of protecting and things like that. Which I mean, to me, that just doesn't make sense. You know, especially if you call yourself wanting to be with a woman. That to me, that's just part of it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna be with you and you're gonna be with me, you know what I'm saying? If I hear something knocking, you know, or whatever in the middle of the
You
night,
getting up out the
I'm not
bed.
expecting you to get up. I'm going to get up with you know with
Peace
a
be still.
there you go, and I'm gonna check it out. And you know, I mean, if it's going down, it's going down. If not, we okay. We
Go
going
back to
back to
sleep.
bed, and we good to go. And that's just what it is.
Okay.
Because I mean, you know, that's how it should be. I'm just leaving it at
Any other comment?
that. That should. We have several.
Okay, let's
I
share
mean,
a
yeah,
few. We got a little more time.
yeah, we got a little bit more time. Um, let's hit on this. I'm going back to Shay Renee again. Emotional safety is key. We touched on it a little bit, but it's mind-boggling the emotional portion of cheating that goes on. People always equate cheating to physical, but I honestly believe as a man that you can do that emotionally. That's why I don't believe in that work wives, work husband mess. No, ma'am, no, sir. You have one husband, and that is me here. You don't have no work husband. I ain't got no work wives. No, no, I'm good. I have a wife at home. So I think people get caught up in that, thinking it's cute. And it sounds good in theory. Oh, well, yeah, they just take care of this and they do this, they do that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as you end up connecting to them, because that emotional realm is a powerful realm. And as soon as you connect to them and you start doing stuff that husband or wife title calls for, because that's what you're speaking and putting into the atmosphere, you get caught up. Then what you do?
I definitely believe emotional. Yeah. It that's a big issue.
I think it's one of the worst.
That's a big issue.
Because I know that the physical piece of it, you know, that's one thing, but I think the emotional piece is something totally different because it hits you in a different area. It hits you in a different area.
But my brother Tony just wanted to let you know he's agreeing. There is no such thing. He ain't having it. No work husbands.
No work husband,
All
no
right.
work wives.
Any other comments you got out there?
Oh, Nichelle. Michelle Williams says, "Let me go back here because I believe that this was a good one. It was a really good one. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm navigating the computer too at the same time. This thing is acting crazy. Get over here. I should have used the mouse. It's our first show. Y'all bear with us. Anyway, I'm gonna just read it. Nichelle says, no permanent decisions or statements should be made on temporary emotions.
So I feel that was a dig.
No, it wasn't.
No, this is a personal with me and her.
Oh,
Because she reminds me of this all the time. And I do think that I agree, but I also feel like sometimes you just know some decisions and some things have to take place and decisions have to be made. And so I totally agree with that. I agree, Nichelle. I agree 100%. I just think that there's always that clause where sometimes you have to act and you have to act swiftly. And there is no time for sitting around waiting for yourself to maybe calm down or to decide or be talk yourself out of what it is. But I do think that I think you're right for the most part. So I agree. I agree. I agree.
I would also have to agree though that sometimes you do have to make a quick decision. Um, you know what I'm saying? when you know, when you see what you see, you're not crazy. People will act, they'll make you feel like you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? But what you see is what you see. And I believe that God has given us a level of discernment. I think some discernment for some is more keen than others. Because all of us, I think, at one point have been blinded by the googly eyes of love and what could be and the potential of what could be, and the beauty of the woman or the fineness of the man or whatever the case maybe is. But when you know what I'm saying? And there are some times where you got to cut your losses, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to put yourself in a position to where you continue into a cycle of emotional distress, damage, or whatever, to a point to where you possibly end up snapping or something, along those lines. And I'm not saying that everybody snaps.
Well, and I think that's why it's
You just have to be
important to
careful.
remember that you do have to process. And I
Yeah,
think that's where she's going with no permanent decision on temporary emotions. You do have to allow yourself to process, especially when you're dealing with hurt and anger and those sorts of things. I do think that there's a time period where you have to process. And I think there's also a time when you don't allow yourself to process, then wrong decisions can be made. And so I think 9 times out of 10, totally, totally true statement. Totally true statement,
absolutely.
and something to live by and something to really evaluate and think.
Loyalty is admirable. Loyalty to a fault is foolish. And I'm going to just drop that right there. Loyalty is admirable, but loyalty to a fault is foolish. I had to learn that. You know what I'm saying? You can be loyal to a fault. And so you have to know, what's best for you, and move accordingly. And so that's what we got. Hopefully you guys, have enjoyed the season 1, episode 1, first pod of His Voice, Her Vibe Live. Man, it's been a blessing. I hope you guys were blessed by the information. We were blessed by the comments.
Yes.
Please like, tag, share. Go visit us on all of our social media platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. We want to push more traffic to our Facebook page, His Voice, Her Vibe Live podcast. We want to push more traffic there. So please go to that page. If you have not liked that page, go like the page and turn on your live
And share it.
notifications and
Share
share
it.
it.
Also, if you don't have, because you got some friends, I'm sure, that
Yeah.
don't have Facebook. So I just want to invite you to share YouTube with them.
Yes.
We're on YouTube and it streams live the same time we're on Facebook Live. We got some people out there. And so we just want to thank you guys for helping us and encouraging us to do this once again.
Yeah.
And this time we're doing it together. And
Yeah.
Norris ain't sneaking in my comments trying to flex.
Wow.
Ah!
Wow.
But we really want to thank you guys for coming, and we hope to see you the 4th Tuesday at 7 p.m. A new topic will be put out next week sometime with a poll and what you can look forward to on our next
On our
episode.
next
So
episode.
God bless. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you then.
See you. Take care. God bless everybody.